Lone Wolf, Alpha, Squad, copy over. Chapter 5. Alternate. And now this brings us back to our original story. After going through Andy Perot's testimony, I theorized that perhaps Nate was involved in the same kind of projects as well. But this kind of stuff is so far out, you won't be going around thinking, geez, maybe my friend was involved. All I did was make a joke about this in front of Nate, and ever since my life has been different. The following conversations have been edited for spelling and clarity. Saturday, November 20, 2004. Nate. Sweet, I joined Mensa. James. Congratulations. I always believed you could do it. What was your IQ tested to be? 168. What the hell is wrong with me? I'm a freak. Why do you think this? There's nothing wrong with that score. You should be proud. Don't be so hard on yourself. Lots of people have high IQs. There's nothing crazy at all about it, and besides, one day you will wish it was higher. Let's see. I'm a huge person. I have a high IQ. I'm scary. Believe me, I am. And I have such a big penis that a girl I knew a year ago won't sleep with me anymore. James. Trying not to laugh too hard, I asked. You sure you're not a project of government gene manipulation? Was your father in the military? Yeah. And my uncle and my brother, the bigger one. Were you ever taken to government bases as a child for special lessons? Sometimes, but I just got vaccinations, and sometimes. They did physicals. I ran, they monitored my heartbeat. Do you remember any hypnosis going on? No, and I would too. Hey man, I hate the government. Yes, I agree. Why do you hate them? Oh, I can't even begin. I could almost swear I'm being watched. By whom? Look at me. My muscles and bones are spurting. I have telepathy. I'm a future seer. I'm clairvoyant. I have a huge IQ. How old were you when your father died? About 7. Did the death cause any emotional long-term trauma, like him being murdered in front of you, something of that nature? Don't want to talk about it. You should read the story of Andy Perot. Seriously, it's worth a look. His story is very similar to yours. The government has been getting genetic engineering technology from the aliens for decades. They're creating an engineered race of humans to fight in the coming civil war. They are reactivating dormant DNA that we all have in us. Andy was one example. As a child, they took him to government bases and used torture to disassociate his personality. Then, when he was 7, they used the traumatic death of his father as a way to further disassociate the personality. Oh my god, I just realized something. What? Nate logs off the internet and logs back online 10 minutes later. James. Okay, are you going to tell me what you forgot? Nate. What? What? James. Did you remember what happened? I don't know. Nate changes into a different person. His amnesia wasn't the only thing that was odd. James. You told me, oh my god, I just realized something. What did you realize? I never said that. It says so on my computer screen. Do you remember the last thing I said? No. I talked about Andy Perot. Do you remember me talking about that? No. You were asking me why you had all your abilities, and Andy Perot's story seemed to be similar to yours. Did your mother ever live in Rochester, New York, when you were young? Or ever lived there before? Born and raised in Rochester till I was 5. Oh my god, this is too strange. Your life story is becoming more and more similar to Andy's. I'm going to repeat this again because you don't seem to remember what we just talked about. The aliens have been doing genetic experiments on humans for decades. The Illuminati is working with the aliens to create a mind-controlled superhuman soldier to fight in the coming war. They are reactivating dormant DNA that all of us humans have. In particular, the ability to have telekinesis and telepathy. Dude, you're crazy. No, this is what Andy claims. They've been implanting DNA from these soldiers into women with high IQs and who are often brainwashed themselves. Then, they split their personality at a young age. Usually this is done at military bases using hypnosis and then trauma. Later, they use a traumatic event, such as the death of the father in front of the child, to further disassociate the personality. In Andy's case, his father was murdered in front of him at a young age. After high school, he went to the University of Rochester, where some Nazi CIA officers used mind control on him to develop his abilities. Andy, under hypnosis, was able to jump off a 20-story building and bring himself together. He could memorize anything instantly. He could use psychic teleportation to move to another location, or use his thoughts to kill. What the fuck are you talking about? Andy Perot's story. Who is this? Not answering the question, I continued. He was a mind-controlled slave of the Illuminati. They were still doing this secretly in the early 90s, till Andy exposed them in 1998. After Andy moved to Atlanta, they followed him to make sure Andy didn't break free of his programming, but it was too late. So they tried to kill him, but couldn't. He could make his muscles 1,000,000 times harder than steel, and needles couldn't go in. He could even stop bullets. They tried to kill him, but couldn't after he killed 8 agents. They gave up. He moved to Atlanta. They continued to watch him. Andy broke away through the help of some friends. But now he is back under mind control, and the Illuminati implanted his eyes with a camera. Let me ask you something. At this point, Nate again logs off the internet and returns 10 minutes later. Something different happens this time. Instead of telling me what he just remembered, he appears to not even know who I am. So yeah, this just started to scare me. That's why I gave him my user ID instead of my name, which is Bearish 123. Nate, who are you? James. It's me, your friend Bear. Who are you? Who the hell is Bear? I'm Nate's friend. Is this Nate's soul speaking to me? Stay away from me, Nate. He's a very special project, so to say. But he's expressed desire to have free will. Why can't he have it, Nate? If everyone had free will, terror would run amok, James. That is why there is love. What you're doing to him is wrong. You could help him do good things for mankind. Wrong. That cannot be determined by you and your hippie friends. I'm not a hippie, and wrong is determined by serving yourself. Good is determined by serving others. Nate, he is serving others. He's serving us. But Nate wasn't given a choice. Doesn't God allow free will? His dad was. His father is the sole foundation of why he's here. Give him time. Why must Nate pay for his father's choices? Time is running out. You know there isn't much time left. There's plenty of time. Why not make a difference now for the better? Isn't life love? No. Life is a struggle to stay alive and peaceful. And that is what our creations strive for. James, God is love, and he breathed into us his spirit. This is why life is love. The natural law of creation. The natural law of creation gives us free will. You are violating Nate's free will. Nate, you have to learn some lessons on humans. I am willing to learn, but Nate is my friend, and he's been hurt so much. You could do so much more if you followed the natural order of the universe. Nate has taken several wounds, which we have repaired. We need him for several more missions, and then we will dispose of him. James, was he even asked if he wanted to do these missions? No, but his father did agree. Then you have no authority over him, correct? Nate is not his father. Nate is not his father? We do what is right, maybe not morally, maybe not now, but it is right nonetheless, James. It is unbalanced. Fear in the long run will end up destroying you. When we follow the right order of the universe, things are balanced, and then we can all live together peacefully. Don't you realize you reap what you sow? It is not Nate who is being punished. It is you, Nate. The balance of the universe is not what will help us. We want the balance to be better, and it will be, James. Free will is a law from God. This is how we have balance. You say you want things to get better, but you're controlling him, and it is not fair for Nate. He has the right to make his own decisions. Nate, don't alert our project of his powers. It might not be a good idea. James, if you kill me, go ahead. I will only end up coming back. You don't need to use fear on me. Nate, who says we're going to kill you? James, you should have thought of your choices a long time ago before manipulating humans for millennia. Nate, it might not be you will hurt. Don't tell Nate, trust me. You don't want that happening to him. James, fine, hurt me. My love for one friend is more worthwhile than your stupid project. It's not. Chapter 5 continued having space issues. Nikola Tesla set us free. Page 108 continued. Chapter 6, Alternate. Nate, don't alert our project of his powers. It might not be a good idea. James, if you kill me, go ahead. I will only end up coming back. You don't need to use fear on me. Nate, who says we're going to kill you? James, you should have thought of your choices a long time ago before manipulating humans for millennia. Nate, it might not be you will hurt. Don't tell Nate, trust me. You don't want that happening to him. James, fine, hurt me. My love for one friend is more worthwhile than your stupid project. It's not right to live a lie. Nate, I never said we were going to hurt you, but I am saying, if you tell Nate, it will threaten our plans. Because when Nate finds out, James, it's not fair for Nate what you're doing. He tells me he is in pain on the inside. His DID MPD alter probably switched at this point. Nate started this, James. How did he start it? Were you created by the Illuminati? No, Nate was an adulterous buffoon. He didn't help at all. Help what? Are you a foreign spirit? A demon? From a different astral plane? Am I talking to bad Nate then? I am another aware version of Nate. I am here to keep him from fucking up. But he's suffering from multiple personality disorder. I myself have PTSD and know how hard it is dealing with pain. Help him by giving him the knowledge and wisdom to have free will. You're not helping him by controlling him. Yes, I am. Otherwise, he wouldn't have created me. Who did the abuse? Was it the father? No, Nate. Please give Nate a chance. I am Nate, but I'm not Nate. I help Nate deal with Nate. What is your name? I don't know. Call me what you will. James. Does Nate have any connections with what happened to Andy Perot? Some. Very little. Does he have genetically engineered DNA? Yes. If Nate wanted to have his life back, are you willing to give it to him? If he asks, no. If he wants, yes. Is the government watching Nate? Not anymore. His uniqueness has grown out of control. How do you know? You see, we humans desire to have free will. Mind control in the end up as a failure because it's not the way we are created. I know, but I am handing him his life on a silver platter, you see. I get him laid, strength, okay grades. I make him who he wants to be. He thinks it's natural. I do all the hard work. He says he feels no shame when he has sex. Why? Because I decided to take it out of him. I feel shame when he has sex. I'm sorry, Nate. Can you change this? It's hard to take pain away by not dealing with it. When I tried hypnosis for the first time, I went into my subconscious mind and I found my soul hiding in a closet. He looked like a dying skeleton. I asked him why he was hiding, and he told me because he was in pain. I took him out and put him in a mansion. Could you do this? I don't like traveling into Nate's mind. Nate's inner child is a freak. How so? Nate's mind is a scary place. It scares even me. And I am designed by Nate to be virtually fearless. James, we fear what we don't know. When were you created? The playground. What happened? He got beat up by a group of kids. They held him down and whipped him with belts. But Nate wanted to fight. Nate couldn't fight. Wow. Does his mom know about this? His parents knew. They moved him somewhere else where kids wouldn't spit on him. Why would they move him somewhere worse? They didn't know. Are Nate's parents a project of mind control or in the past? No. Nate later told me his mother was allowing this to happen, James. Maybe they were just ignorant on how to deal with things. It's sad they hurt you so bad. Nate, I'm protecting him, James. But he's 16 now. He's 6'5". You don't have to be afraid anymore. So he's big? Yes, you did your job well, and I'm sure you will continue to do so, Nate. I still need to protect him. How big do you... How did you make him so big? Because he's my friend, and the more distraught his mind is, the longer I have to live there. His mind is a horrible place, so dark and shadowy. Nothing is happy, and pain is at every corner. That's why he needs me. James, are you happy? Nate, I don't exist. I'm not happy. I'm not sad either. James, sometimes I know what that feels like, being numb, but it takes away from having peace. You never can feel joy. You live your life without purpose. Where's the drive? All we can do is try to get better to prevent failures. These kids on the playground won't beat Nate up anymore, and you told me it's in his genes to have telepathy and other abilities. Can't you try using them? He doesn't want them. Can you tell me why he doesn't want them? We all have the ability. It's just that our DNA is dormant. There's nothing bad about that. There's nothing bad about that. Nate, sort of. Telepathy hurts him. How does it hurt him? He feels pain that others feel. Try to put a shield up. Imagine a bubble around yourself. This bubble can stop thoughts. Nate. No, it can't. I tried. James. Is there a way he can stop them without having to be in pain? No. If I could help Nate control his telepathy, would you be willing to find a happy place to live? Another altar switches. Nate. I have been with Nate since day one, so my personality is actually quite lacking. James. Were you created by a computer like with the Montauk Boys? No, I was created by a moment. The moment Sean pushed him to the ground and held him down. I was created in his eyes. My name is Max. How old was Nate? 7, about to turn 8. Oh, I'm glad to meet you. I am James. Nice to meet you. Did he have psychic abilities or telekinesis even before the age of 7? Yeah. I always heard stories of this but never thought it was real. I am imaginary. Nate's mind setting is imaginary, and you're not actually meeting me. If you're a friend of Nate, you're a friend of mine. I'm Nate's best friend. I stick up to his enemies. I go for the girl. Nate's just a passenger who thinks he's lucky. I bet. Yeah. But he's expressed desire to be normal. One time he said he just wants to be a normal teen. Well, I guess he never could be, being with his DNA. But I'm sure he can find a balance. Nate, he doesn't want to be normal. Why not? Because every standardized test, every geometric equation expresses the average guy. No matter how smart he is, someone is smarter. He will remain average in his own eyes until I find a way to change it, James. Thank you for talking to me. I have so many more questions. Are you a demon? No, an imaginary figure created by a twisted mind. But you're just as human as Nate. You are a part of him. No, I'm not human. I'm imaginary. Nate doesn't even know I exist. Don't tell him. He has a book about me that he wrote. I remember him saying he had a friend named Max once. He said he was smarter and had all the girls. Was that you? The subtle gratitude of a gracious soul. I wish I could read that book. It's not that good. But it's about you. It is who you are. Why wouldn't it be good? You've done such a good job helping Nate. It's about an imaginary figure named Max who comes to take Nate's life. Would you want to become reintegrated? I need to read up more on MPD, though. I would like to not exist. I hate life and humans. The only thing I love is Nate. How about me? Nate then logs off the internet. From the research I gathered from various books and the internet, these conversations are indicative of someone suffering from MPD-DID. Most people who suffer from it usually have 8 alters on average, each surrounded by amnesia walls. So I was curious as to who else was in his head. Another side note, a few months before this conversation, Nate told me his best friends Max and Jeremy were at his house on a sleepover. At that time, I didn't realize they were alters. Sunday, November 21, 2004. Nate had no clue about the previous night's conversation. Curiosity got the best of me, and I asked Nate for more information about the kids that beat him up on the playground. Nate: hey. James: hello, how was your day? It was okay, yours? I still have a few more questions, but it got so late last night. Huh? What about it? Nate is unable to recall the previous night's conversation. With DAD-MPD, there are amnesia walls, preventing other alters from knowing what's going on. Nate's case, it is the main personality which appears to be suffering from amnesia, until triggered otherwise. James: I can't say much, but I want to know how old Sean was, if you remember. Who is Sean? The playground? What the fuck? I guess you don't know. Tell Max I'm still trying to do more research to help him. Who the fuck is Max? You wrote a book about him. He's your best friend. He is? My best friend is Jake. I don't even know anyone named Max. I didn't sleep well last night because I was so worried about you. I think Jake is another alter. At this point, Nate zones out for about 10 minutes, then says, hi, you're back. James, do not mention me, not to Nate. How much can I mention? I just wanted to know how old Sean was because I think the government might be behind this abuse. Can you tell me when you went to those military bases as a child? Were you put under hypnosis and abused? Max, would it be okay to talk about the abuse but not mention your name to Nate? No. James: I believe you have been manipulated. Let me explain. See, in Andy's case, the government used abuse at a young age to disassociate his personality at those military bases, and Nate told me he was at one of those bases for physicals. I think it's possible the government could have put Nate under hypnosis and began abusing him, and it's possible those kids who beat him up on the playground were mind-controlled as well. This was done to further disassociate you. When Andy was 7, his father was killed in cold blood right in front of him. This was the final straw. He broke. And this seems to be what happened to you. The government has been using abuse to create you, so that they can use you one day to be a soldier, to murder people. The ones who did this are the Illuminati. They are a group of Satanists and Nazis who want to control the world and control us. In Andy's case, he broke free because he had a group of friends who tried to help him. Andy had great abilities. He could stop bullets. He could put a pencil 2 inches deep into a concrete wall. Nate is a new project. James, new in what way? Sneeze. New in what way? Nate is a new project. James, new in what way? One of the agents used to control him is another personality names ZZ. Is ZZ created by a computer matrix? For example, some of the Montauk boys had artificial souls implanted in them. Nope. Technically, they weren't artificial souls, but computerized, programmed alters created to perform superhuman abilities. The soul would be extracted, programmed, then put back into the original body, or a clone. Nate, ZZ is like me, only different. ZZ is violent, angry, and counterbalancing. Was ZZ created by the SS officers at those military bases when he was a kid? Yeah. Sounds like something a Nazi would do. Nate, I hate the government. James, it's not fair how they treated you. One Nazi Germany was enough. Having those bastards in America is not fair for you. Tell me about the playground. Do you think what I said about those kids who beat you up were working for the government is true? Partially. Perhaps the kids themselves were just as much victims as you. Please listen, don't get mad. The government could be doing the same thing to them, putting them under hypnosis and then using them as agents to do their evil on you. How old was Sean? 13. How come you know about Andy Perot? Everything Nate knows, I know. Yeah, but I just mentioned it by accident and you showed up. What else do you know about what happened in Rochester? Lots. There were kids there that Nate was best friends with, and he knows when they're in trouble, but he doesn't know who they are. Are they telepaths? Sort of. Is Nathan related to Andy in some way? No, Nathan is a new project. Slower, but in time, he is supposed to be a stronger version. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with being strong, but great power requires great responsibility. These people mistreated you. Do you believe this? I believe power belongs to the one who doesn't want it. I believe power belongs to the one who doesn't want it. Did the Nazis tell you this? I'd like to learn about his project assignment. Is it telepathy? No. He's an experiment. What is the goal? Do you remember what his purpose is? Experimental. Hello? Maybe you don't know. Did Nate see any aliens in those military bases, like the reptilians or Greys? Okay, how about when his father was killed? Did the government do it? Maybe you don't know. Nate, no idea. The ones who created your alters are the ones who are also responsible for the abuse. Like with Andy, a Nazi killed his father in cold blood in front of him. Do you remember seeing any Nazis? No. Perhaps you were too young to understand. Possible. What else do you remember about that time? You said there were lots of kids. Do you know how many? You must have been so young then. You told me the government is not watching you anymore. They followed Andy even when he was in college. Have you noticed any peculiar people watching you? Yeah. Do you remember what they looked like or why they seemed unusual? I don't know. Will you get in trouble for telling me? I don't know. How often do they put you under hypnosis? Not often. Do you still go to military bases? It only happened when I was a kid. Do you feel pain when talking about this? No, I never feel anything. I feel pain for you because your very soul was violated. Did you know it's not normal to go through what you went through? No one deserves to have their personality split. ZZ should have never been created, nor should you, Max. I know. You are suffering from multiple personality disorder caused by those bastard Nazis. I don't know how to cure it. I could be killed for helping you, but I don't care. You're my friend, and I will do what I can to help you. Nate, okay. James, do you want me to help you? Nate, no. James, why not? Because Nate's a big boy. But he's been abused. Do you believe this? Huh? When we are helpless, this is when our friends come to pick us back up. Oh. His father was killed by these people, and Nate hasn't connected the dots yet. Max, do you know if your handlers use a special password to get access to your mind? Sometimes they will have a code word. For Andy, it was Rhino. Do you know it? Wolf. Alaskan wolf. Are there any government mind caps on your head? No. Good, that's a relief. I could be killed if I violated them. But if I did, so be it. They use fear to control us. They do it all the time. Look at George Bush. He's using terrorism to take away our rights. Did you know bin Laden worked for the same group who did this to you? He worked for the CIA. The CIA/NSA and Illuminati have been using Nazi methods on us for decades, ever since they were asked to come here to America after the war. One of their projects is genetically engineered soldiers. This is you. The Illuminati themselves are satanic, and so is most of the CIA. You are a project of them. Their goal is to take over the world and bring about a one-world government. They need mind-controlled slaves who have telepathic abilities to communicate to each other because phone lines will be down in the war. Does this sound like your project? Yes, I was raised in a town with a group of kids and we didn't speak to each other. Having telepathy is not bad. Less than 1% of the population has it. Genetic engineering is good. One day all people will be able to have your abilities. But God gives us these gifts for the better of mankind. You don't have to fear telepathy. You can use it for good. Just don't cave into fear. Always remember, they will try to break you. They are responsible for killing your father and maybe what happened with Sean. Do you believe this? I don't know. I think the government made you to fight in the coming civil war, but that war will fail because it is fear-based. The Bible says you reap what you sow. This means what you do to others will be done unto you. It's a supernatural law of the universe. One day the people who hurt you will suffer from it. But you don't have to suffer anymore. Use your abilities to fight them. Nate's abilities aren't strong enough. But Nate told me he could lift 400 pounds and he could lift 700 pounds using his mind. Yes, he can, but he will lose his abilities if he revolts. It's in his DNA. You told me this. They can't take it away. His body is controlled by several buttons and computers. They monitor his functions. When he tried to leave, they shut it down. Describe the computer's functions. They will kill him. I know because it's in my system. I didn't know they could do this now. Maybe you've been brainwashed to believe that they can kill you. They can kill me. Okay. Would you be willing to see a hypnotist to do? Would you be willing to see a hypnotist to deprogram all of this? No. Why not? They can tear out this programming and build you up better. Would you want to be set free? Perhaps you're afraid, or maybe you hate yourself too much. No. A lone wolf is a dangerous wolf. Lone wolf programs are used by the NSA to keep MKUltra victims from breaking free. James, did they tell you this? This is why we must have knowledge, so that we can have freedom. The Bible says the truth shall set you free. And in the book of Hosea, it says, "My people suffer from lack of knowledge. What you fear is being alone." Nate, you don't understand. I'm trying to understand. It's just so hard, and I wish I could do the things you can. What would it be like to live in a colony of children who use their mind to talk to people? But it's not my mission here on Earth. You shouldn't fear your abilities, Nate. Nate controls more than immense strength. What else can he do? Scary things, like mind control, telekinesis, scaling flat walls. How about teleportation? Yes. Can you materialize objects out of thin air like gold bars or diamonds? Nate, diamonds. Wow, no wonder they got you under control. Man, I wish you could see Saint Germain. He could do this too, but he's using his abilities to stop the Illuminati. You can too. If I try to ask him to help you, will you be willing? No. Is it possible I could change your mind? No. Damn, you're not going to make things easy for me. You're going to be stuck like this for the rest of your life. Is this what you want? Somewhat. I want to be alone. Would you want to leave the country? No. They will keep using you for your mind. I know. Unless you want to fight them, they will never leave you alone. Dante wants to fight. He's the expression of Nate's freedom, but we can't let him take control. He will kill. James, will he kill those who hurt him? Yes. They are evil people. I don't believe Nate should kill, but perhaps it's the only way for Nate to be alone. If you don't try to stop them, they will do this to others. Is my life in danger for asking you these questions? No. Good. Start calling me Dante because that's who you are talking to. James. Sure, I never met you before. Nate. I'm Dante. Several weird combinations by Nate. Dante, how many personalities are there? Well, there are 5. There are probably more than 5. He may not know of the others or is lying to prevent them from coming out. James. Wow, can you name them? Nate. Me, ZZ, Max, Mike, Jeremy. Hey, I think I talked to Jeremy before. How come you have to fight so much? Nate. It's right. Why do you inquire so much? I have to go. Nate retires for the night. From this conversation, it is safe to say I was dealing with NPD. I hope some of the things I said will help him break out his programming without triggering a suicide program. This has been a reading of Chapter 6 from Lone Wolf Alpha Squad, copy over by James Rink. Next chapter will be Chapter 7, titled Cognitive Thinking, on page 118.